What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you've been following social media for the last month or so, you're hearing about this barrel flex or barrel movement in the Sig Spear LTs. The 6-inch guns seem to have more of an issue than the shorter guns, but it's been a thing. And me owning this one, I wanted to kind of see what that did to accuracy, if there did anything to it. As you guys know, I'm new to the Spear platform, or the MCX platform, I should say. So today we took this to the range, shot 4 different rounds, all 5.56 rounds, and we wanted to see if the barrel had any issues. We may have an issue, and it might be my eyes, it might be the gun, but we're gonna find out. Let's get to the range and shoot it. So for this shot, 55 grain, basic ball ammunition. If this group blew up, we're in trouble. But if we have a good tight group, we're home free. So I zeroed this gun with different ammo 2 weeks ago. We've been yanking on the barrel for the last week or so, seeing the shift. So let's find out. As you mentioned earlier, we noticed that the first set of rounds was low right. That could be ammo, that could be me. So this is the round, Mark 262 is what I zeroed the gun with 2 weeks ago. So I gave the barrel a little bump to the left. Maybe it was, we were pulling on it earlier before we shot. So let's see what this ammo does, being a little higher caliber round. I'm fighting some mirage off the suppressor already with that 1-6. That's a little bit of a struggle, but let's see what the target says. Okay, so better to center, and those are rounds are just me. I'm gonna hold on this next 2 to see if we correct the accuracy. Shot 5 rounds of M855A1. I tried to change my hold a little bit to correct this low right hand impact. That was a poor performance of accuracy there for me, but that was probably me more than gun. But this last round, we're just gonna hold center and see what happens. All right, so next up is 77 grain Black Hills OTM open tip match. This video might end up being a part 1 and a part 2 because I may do the barrel clamp from Arasaka. I'll talk to Sig, see what the Sig says, and then I'm gonna bring a second shooter out with me, and maybe we do a part 2 of this accuracy test. We'll play that by ear and see how it goes. Little better accuracy because of the ammo. Again, it's just, I'm throwing some rounds that I can't see as well. So we just shot for 20 rounds, 5 everything again out of my Mark 12. This gun is a much more accurized rifle than the Sig, and I'm also shooting a 3-18 trimmer 3, so I'm able to bump that magnification up quite a bit to help my eyes. So, and of course, it makes it easy for these old man eyes to see impacts and make adjustments if I need to. So, what good thing about testing the ammo is that I realized that this M855A1 is not as accurate, because if my impacts are correct, the M855A1 is probably going to be the biggest group we have out of all these rounds. This is interesting to see. So I knew this round I threw because I banged 2 pretty quick, but this is with the suppressor not having any heat whatsoever with the AME5. So this was the 55 grain. This is the Mark 262, right? This was me, but that would have been, that's the ammo made for the Mark 12 Mod H. That's why we see such high performance out of that group there. As I mentioned, M855A1, I can just feel this thing. It just has a lot of juice to it, but I understand the round's design and what it's intended for. Not so much this, but what it is. So, and that's just me, a little more mirage off that suppressor. So I noticed with the AME5, it's cool in regards to how quiet the can is, but it does give a little more mirage than I'm used to. So you can see the difference between the two, but still a very tight group. All right, guys, so we're back. Today was a crazy day. Don't mind the gun. It is, all the rifles we shot today are pretty much just, they need a super deep cleaning. We got rained on pretty hard. But so what I've done to the Spear LT is I added a stock we're going to talk about here shortly, bipod, and then we're of course running the 1-to-6 contract scope in the 193 Badger Ordnance mount, RMR on top with a LaRue mount here. With all the drama going on around this barrel flex thing, and before I get too deep into that topic, as you guys know, if you followed the other Spear videos, I am a Virgin MCX owner. This is my first one. So I don't understand or know all the intricate details in regards to rail mounting and barrel. I do know this barrel has movement in it. You can manually move it left to right. I do not know if that is causing any kind of issue, but also I have to consider the length of the barrel. This is an 11.5-inch gun. I may be asking too much in regards to accuracy or marksmanship. In regards to that, also my eyes are getting much worse. I have another appointment coming up here very soon to upgrade my prescription, but a 1-to-6 for me at 100 yards is not cutting it. I just can't. So that was an issue as well today that we found. So that was a good thing for me to know that I need to bump to a 1-to-8. So today we shot 4 different rounds. This was 55 grain, basic ball ammunition. This is more probably me. Then we moved down to the Mark 262, little better. I believe this is ammo. This is maybe just my eyes and the zero being a little bit off. I did crank on this barrel a few times throughout the week, just seeing how it would go to one push to the right and then it would kind of come back to center. So we did push on this barrel prior to shooting. And again, I'm only doing that to see if there was any huge drastic deviation in impact, which is not. This is the M855A1. It is one of those rounds that consistently does not group as well as other 5.56 rounds do. This is where I come into play in regards to the shooter behind the gun. The last is the 77 grain Black Hills OTM. We're much more vertical. So now this again goes back to me and my eyes. And one of the things of doing this channel and running this stuff is the fact that now we're shaking loose the gear we're using. I now know that 1-to-6 for me, shooting anything in a semi-precision category is not going to cut it. I have a hard time believing that, I know some people are going to push back on this, that Sig relies on the consumer to be the beta tester. And I can see that to a point, but I do believe that there's some merit to the brand and what they build due to the amount of contracts they win. And people are going to say, oh, it's this, that, and the other. But I worked for Point Blank Body Armor for many years. I understand how tens of $1 million contracts are won based on bidding, performance, etc. So there's something to be said for the rifle itself. I don't think that this barrel issue is maybe as big of an issue on the short guns as it may be on the big guns, but I also haven't seen many people post anything other than simply just saying, hey, the barrel moves, right? And when you look at the comments on the barrel moving, there's all kinds of, oh, you're stupid, you know what you're talking about, to no one's really explaining why it is moving and why it should or should not be moving. They talk about torquing of the rail, all kinds of things. There's so much typical internet, Instagram, Facebook commentary on it. There's nothing really educational or fact-finding to help someone say, oh, damn, this is the issue or that issue. It's funny because I had planned to move this one off to a friend of mine after all the reviews were done. And then when I spoke to him, he's like, oh, I think I'm going to hold off. I hear all about this barrel stuff. So now this barrel conversation, whether it's true or not true, is affecting the consumer side of it. So that's something that I wanted to kind of figure out myself and see, hey, what exactly is this issue? And is it a issue with the short guns? So today's conclusion, I was hoping to get more information, more data, but what it was good for me personally Number one, I need get more time on rifle. I sometimes get lazy and I don't go to the range as much as I should. I got to push that out and get there and start getting behind the guns again and just shoot recreationally to keep my own skills up. Some of this stuff to me personally is pretty poor, this one especially. But again, I want to test these 4 rounds again with a different optic, and I got a new rear bag coming that is going to help me a little bit, and then we'll see how this pans out. But on far as accuracy, consider this part 1. We'll be back with part 2 in regards to how this platform is going to work with some different glass and the same ammo. So if you look at the Sig from the last time we did this video, you'd notice an upgrade on the rear end. So I have picked up a couple different stocks. In the first video, I explained to you guys why I wasn't a fan of the factory Spear OEM stock. It was too short, the riser wasn't very helpful, and I just felt I was really compressed behind the gun. I understand why in the design they did that, but doing a little research, I was able to find let me get rid of this target here. I was able to find a factory Sig MCX side folder. This I really, really like, because what this does, it gives me the same length of pull as would a factory stock on an AR, for example. The length of pull is the same, and that's why I needed to give me, my arms are pretty long, I need to give me a better length of pull behind the rifle to give me better field of view on the optic. Now, what I can do is I've made a witness mark on here. I know where I need to go right there to give me that perfect eye relief every time to get on the gun. Running the 193, if you guys watched my Unity video in the past, why I stopped using 193 risers, because I didn't have a cheek riser that was going to work for me. This is the LaRue riser. You notice how it articulates. There's no matter how far it's closed, when the charging handle opens, it will push back the top of the charge of the riser. This riser for me with a 193 is the perfect height. Prone, standing, kneeling, doesn't matter, whatever. It is the perfect setup. So most of my guns now that have a taller mount all have these on there. This one here is a bedded stock, so once you close it, there's very little rattle and movement inside the stock itself, and that's something you guys can Google and do yourself. It says fiberglass bedding inside the stock to get rid of the wobble. It still is a side folder. It just does not fold as cleanly against the gun as the other one does, simply because of the extra cheek riser right here. So when it won't magnetically close like it normally would with the factory stock, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make to get the height for using a tall mount, because now my neck is in a better position. I had no pain today running this optic with the riser, so very happy with that. The other option you guys can do with this particular one is the Cape Moss. And the Cape Moss stock is from Parker Mountain Machine. This is a very lightweight, very well-made stock. You'll notice when I line up the knuckles, that there's a little bit of shortness and length of pull right here. They make a stock extender. It's a aluminum piece that drops in here and 2 new bolts come in. So you can run the Cape Moss stock at the exact same length as the MCX stock. This one here is a smidge longer. When I run the knuckles even together, you come short right about here, but that's still enough, because I have the enhanced butt pad on the Magpul stock. So with the length of pull extender, you're right even with the end of the stock with the factory rubber butt pad. So this is a great option for you guys. They have options, the cheek riser as well. These come in three different heights. Just bolt through the top here with an M-lock system through the top of the stock itself. They do not come with the knuckles. You have to kind of either have, source online. These are a little bit tough to find right now. But this gives you a very clean closure. It gives you a very flush fit. You do have a QD slot in the rear right here, so you can still run the stock. This works very well with the 193 as well. I just personally like having the AR style length of stock. I like the aesthetic of it, and I like the fitment of it as well. This is a little bit off for me because the position of the riser, but I understand why the riser is here, because you've got to clear the charging handle with the rifle. So that's the reason why the position is pushed back here. There are other companies that make the same style, and Parker Mountain's been making the Cape Moss stock for a minute. So, but you can get these, I believe this is their FDE. I know it's a weird color. Some guys are gonna say something about that, but at the end of the day, anodizing aluminum to tenoize all the color matching. That's why the upper receiver, the rail is different, grip is different, etc. But you guys can kind of see how those options are. Definitely upgrading the ass end of your spear is going to be a huge improvement over the factory. The factory stock does leave a lot wanting, just simply design, how short it is, and the lack of a riser for different height mounts. So other than that, you guys, today was a good day. We got rained on pretty hard. The guns are nasty, but today gave me a lot of information on the configuration of the gun, the use of the 1:6 optic, and my time on rifles. I need to get more out there. So will be part 1 of the accuracy test for the Spear LT. And when you see me next, there may be a trigger upgrade in this gun. Other than that, there'll be an optic upgrade for sure. And then our final video will be discussion on the suppressor. And that'll be it. I'm gonna round out this Spear series reviews. The gun's been awesome. Finish has been holding up well. Trigger's good, safeties are good, everything else is fine. I haven't experienced other things that other guys have said they've experienced, but time will tell. So as always, guys, we post 2 to 3 videos every week on Get Their Manufacturer, Get Their Review. Until next time, be well, take care.